Thank you, Ambassador, for that introduction. And it's a pleasure to be here with you, Mr. Prime Minister, with Ambassador Power, Secretary Pritzker, distinguished colleagues. So let me start with my story. Right after Russia invaded Ukraine, I started getting phone calls from presidents of universities around the US. And they said, can you help us through the Ukrainian Academy get in contact with some of these really top scientists in Ukraine? We would love to invite them to come here to our university. And I said, absolutely not. Ukraine needs its scientists. It needs its scientists because science is hope.
Yes.
We need to do everything to maintain that hope for a better life today for those in Ukraine and for their children tomorrow. And that hope is going to come from science. I said, on the other hand, I know that there are a number of Russian scientists who don't agree with Putin. And if you would like me to help you get in contact with them to come to your universities, I would be happy to facilitate that. So in conversations with my colleagues at the National Academy of Sciences, we started talking about what can we do to maintain the powerhouse of Ukrainian science, help raise their level, and make sure that they will be there to contribute to the rebuilding and a prosperous future for Ukraine. So the first thing we did was we raised about $10 million in order to support many of the Ukrainian scientists who had left Ukraine in the face of the Russian invasion because they were concerned about their children, they were concerned about their families. Our goal was to support these scientists in Poland and in the peri-Ukrainian region so that they would be available to instantly move back once hostilities ceased. Now that was a great plan, but it had one flaw. In looking at it, we realized we were only supporting women scientists because it was the women scientists that had left Ukraine with the children. Now, I'm the last person to say that supporting women scientists is not a great strategy, but we also recognize that there were some men that deserved support too. So over time, we started to change our program and realized that we needed to support all of those scientists who had remained in Ukraine, but their budgets had been slashed because, of course, the priority of the leadership in Ukraine had been to support the war effort, and there was so little left for science. So we raised money to support the men, and we are looking, and we realized this is the right thing to do. If you look at some of the fastest growing economies in the world, they started by investing in science. Look at South Korea, that went from an agrarian economy to an economic powerhouse in one generation by investing in science. And our hope is that Ukraine will emerge from this war stronger, better, thanks to investment in science. I'm pleased today to announce that the U.S. National Academy of Sciences is launching what is a new Science and Innovation Fund for Ukraine. The fund is going to focus on investing in the science and innovation to underpin the same priority areas that President Zelensky already articulated for the country. It's infrastructure and transportation, energy, agriculture, artificial intelligence and data science, and natural resources and earth sciences. All of these areas for potential economic growth require science to underpin it. This new fund for science and innovation has two goals. It's first to immediately support the Ukrainian research community, and second, to build a framework for long-term innovation based on science and commercialization. To date, we have raised $8 million for this fund, helped by our partner, the Simons Foundation in New York, and with commitments of other U.S. foundations, including the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. We're in the process of raising additional funds with the near-term goal of committing $12 million more to the fund for a total of $20 million. Now, I know to Bank of America, thank you. I know to Bank of America that doesn't sound like much, but you would be surprised at how far these very entrepreneurial scientists in Ukraine can make $1 go. So I'm looking forward to the impact of this fund. Mr. Prime Minister, Madam Ambassador, I want to thank you for all the support my team has received from working with your scientists to develop this fund. I want to especially recognize Yulia Berzenko, I'm sorry I screwed that up, for all her help. And Ambassador Power and Secretary Pritzker, I'd like to thank you for the support of USAID and the State Department. They've been phenomenal to work with as we developed approach for science innovation with Ukraine. I know with such partnerships that the flag of Ukraine will continue to fly over the land of the free and the home of the brave. So thank you.